This is the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. All right, now it's time for your favorite guest and mine, Mr. Nathan Johnson. What's going on, buddy?
I'm back. It's good to be here. How are you guys?
We're doing excellent. We're excited to have you, man.
That's good to hear. I always ask you that question as though we didn't just spend 20 minutes talking and messing up the start of this podcast.
Hey, they don't know that. This is behind the scenes stuff. You're not supposed to tell them that.
Okay. All right. Well, I apologize to everyone who I just ruined a little bit of the shine for.
You're ruining the magic.
They thought we were perfect up until now.
Right?
Until this very moment.
Cat's out of the bag. Actually, I don't know if anybody ever listens to the show all the way to the end, but occasionally we do put bloopers out there. So if you are actually a real, true fan and you listen all the way to the end, you have to listen to all the music, and after the music, there are bloopers occasionally.
Don't miss them.
Those are some Easter eggs for you to look for out there. Oh, no. And we've lost Nathan.
That's the end of the show.
And that's the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. And we're out.
That's a wrap.
So I don't know. Should we just wait around for him to come back? Maybe he'll call back in. You know, it'll be like a live call-in show.
Yeah.
Welcome to Nomadic Traveler
We
Podcast.
haven't done...
Oh, here we go. And we're back.
We're back. We still live?
Yes, we're still live.
I apologize. I thought my laptop was charging because it's all plugged in, and clearly it wasn't. But we're back. We're good to go. I apologize to your listeners and to you. That was very rude and disrespectful of me. Let's go.
Believe it or not, Nathan actually has his own show, so he should know better than to allow things like this to happen.
I should, and I do apologize to everyone again. So, how are you guys? COVID's happening. Elections are going on. I know we don't get into politics and that, but how are you guys up there in the States doing?
Things are going crazy everywhere, man. Everywhere. Yeah. Where are you located at? Just in case everybody doesn't know. Where are you at?
Well, I'm in Panama. I don't want to get too specific because the last time I did that on your show, some people started sending me fan mail. But yeah. I'm at 17 West Coast Highway in the province of Panama Oeste, and the postcode is 6530 PA. So don't send me any more of no more letters or anything like that. Thanks.
I think you're confusing yourself with Tommy P.
That's right.
Oh, that's a dig. That's a dig.
That's your favorite guy, Tommy P, man.
I'm gonna find him one day post COVID, and me and Tommy are gonna have some words.
We'll bring you guys on the show together, and you can
Yes, that's what
words of encouragement for his post-COVID adventures. Obviously, I'm a very wholesome guy.
So, what are going to be your post-COVID adventures?
Yeah, what you got brewing?
I got some big plans. It depends a lot on kind of where the restrictions ease up first and where we can all safely travel. But there's a lot of places that I've been trying to kind of, I guess, put together a list of places that I really want to go and see that normally are kind of ruined by having too many people there. Like there's a lot of places you can go, for example, New York or some of the big tourist attractions like even the Taj Mahal, I guess, you know, there's a lot of places where you can go and you can get the essence of a place even though there's a lot of people. But there's other places, things such as Machu Picchu and even, you know, I guess like, I don't know, the Great Wall of China or, you know, there's a lot of places where I feel like standing there, you'd be able to get caught up in the moment a lot more with less people.
Yeah.
And so I've been putting this list together of places that, you know, I feel this is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity for all of us to go and see places without the crowds that can normally just take a little bit of the edge off, you know, take away a little bit of the magic. So Yeah, I got a few places, a few things I want to go see. Some Japanese temples and stuff. The Forbidden City in Beijing would be phenomenal. Even down New Zealand, there's a lot of kind of nature areas in New Zealand that, yeah, just they do get very, very busy, and I kind of want to stand there and enjoy them for myself, and it's a little selfish, but it's exciting.
Have you been to Machu Picchu?
I haven't been anywhere over here yet. As you guys know, it was probably the last time we spoke on your podcast, maybe, but I moved down here to Panama, and it was very shortly after that they started shutting all the travel down. So we haven't had a chance really to explore Central America yet, or this side of the world, but we're definitely looking forward to it.
Gotcha. So you've done a little bit of traveling, though, right? You've been a couple little small places, right? Or wait, tell us about, so you guys were locked down, right?
Oh, yeah, we were locked down like, I haven't heard of anywhere in the world that was locked down like we were. I mean, not that I've gone looking, so I'm sure a bunch of you listeners will be like, oh, we had it worse, but yeah, for, what was it, almost 8 months. So the deal was you weren't allowed to leave your house at all. No one, you weren't even, like people with dogs weren't allowed to go outside and walk their dogs. Kids weren't allowed outside. You weren't even allowed outside into your yard.
So the dog's shitting all over the apartment and you have no food.
Yeah, and I mean, even like the ones, well, so with the food, so the only time you could leave the house was men could go. There were different time slots. So I could leave the house on a Tuesday or Thursday between 2 and 4 p.m. And my partner, Louise, she could leave the house between, I think it was 12 and 2 p.m. on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. But even for us, the only place you were allowed to go was to go grocery shopping. You weren't allowed to go anywhere else. No one was allowed to go to the beach. Obviously, the schools and the gyms, everything's been shut down. The gyms still aren't back open. There's a few small things, but most of it's pretty much back open now. But yeah, we had a very intense lockdown for sure.
So what are the numbers like there? I'm assuming you guys are doing much better than the U.S.
Yeah, I don't want to guess at what the numbers were, but I know like the peak, I feel like the worst day we ever had was like 1,500 new cases or something.
Well, let's see. Go ahead and continue talking, and I'm going to see if I can look up your country and see what I can find.
How you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing good. So how did you guys survive in the staying together in your home? Wait, you said you could only get out 2 hours at a time?
2 hours, 2 days a week? Is that what it was?
2 hours, 2 days a week. And then and on opposite days as well to each other. So they kind of did that so people wouldn't mill around. I don't know, it's all a little weird, but the official explanation was they didn't want husbands and wives to be able to go out together to mill around. I don't know. I go out to hang out with other people. If I'm going to hang out with my partner, I stay at home, but they thought it was the right move to kind of break that up.
Interesting. So did you like fill your whole time? Like were you like leaving at like 11:59 and coming back at like 1:59?
No, it kind of, I mean, like for us, we both work online from home. Look, I'm an extrovert. I love coming on your show and chatting a bunch of shit and everything. And this year I've definitely really missed the connection with other people. But other than that, work-wise and everything, we've actually had a very fortunate year, and staying at home really hasn't been that bad for us. We're lucky. We don't actually live close to other people. We live out in the country, and our little development, we were the only ones here. There's a few other small places in our development, but they're all owned by holidaymakers. So it was literally Louise and I here. We were the only ones for like 6 months, and we have a beach here and a pool. So we were sneaking. We couldn't go in the pool because there's groundskeepers and stuff here, and we didn't want to make them feel uncomfortable about their job and stuff. But before they showed up each morning and after they went home at night, it was literally only us within like 3 miles of here. So we would go down to the beach and have a swim. So we managed to keep a little bit of sanity that way. We, as a couple, we were very, very lucky.
Dang, that's pretty nice. Okay, so I got your numbers. Do you want your numbers?
Sure.
Okay, so I did a little research, found out that you guys have had 140,000 cases total.
Okay.
So that's not very much. And you guys have had 2,800 deaths total, and there are currently only 18,000 people infected. And of those, 140 are critical.
Okay, so that's for a population of about 4 million. How does that stack up to what's happening in the US? Obviously, you guys have hundreds of millions of people, so there's a scale effect. But how's it looking?
Yeah, so the US. I knew you were going to do that to me. Okay, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll have information in a minute.
I was going to add before that, like we obviously, we were very lucky, and you know, you could get into how bad it was in the city. A lot of people live on top of each other, essentially. There's projects and there's. Panama's a reasonably well-off country, but anywhere you go in the world, there is quite a lot of poverty. And yeah, I think it was definitely a big struggle for the people without money, as it has been everywhere, obviously.
Okay, so I got cases for the U.S. 10,420,000 cases, 244,000 deaths, and I'm trying to see, is that how many? That's how many cases are active right now. Is 10 million. Wow, holy shit. And in our little neck of the woods in Indiana, where we're from, we've had 214,000 cases and 4,664 deaths.
How many people in Indiana?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not kind of sure what the population is here.
However many you can fit in the back of a pickup truck.
I want to say it's probably similar to Panama. It's probably about 4 or 5 million, I guess. So.
Yeah, so I mean.
So we're doing much worse.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit worse. But man, there's a lot of. There's going to be a lot of ongoing discussion about what would you call it? I guess the intangibles, like the effects that you can't see. Like I wonder. For example, I wonder the suicide and depression rates of a country like Panama that locked down so heavy and so hard. Like my sister has kids. I know you guys do as well. And it's very hard to grab if you've got a house full of kids and they come home from school one day and everything's normal and then they can't leave the house at all for 7 or 8 months. And suicide is very much want to be careful with this because it affects a lot of people. A lot of countries in the world, Australia is, as I believe, one of the worst places in terms of suicide rates and stuff. But there's a lot of countries where, I don't know, it's just not as thought about so often as a solution for people's problems. Like there's a lot of countries where they don't turn to it as much. And I'm led to believe that Panama is one of those places. So I don't know, but surely the amount of depression and, even couples breaking up, we're probably not going to know the effects of that this lockdown here in Panama has had for a long time. I'm sure that it has saved lives, but I think we will always wonder at what cost. And then you look at the US, I think it's easy for us outsiders to kind of point the finger and be like, well, one death is too many. Why didn't you guys do it? Do more. But you're like, fuck, man, I'm not a doctor or anything. So, yeah, I don't know. It's all weird. It's such a weird year.
Yeah. 2020 is the worst year ever, right? I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. But we got things to look forward to. So
got a lot of things to look forward to.
I know, like, on my computer, I probably have, like, 5 or 6 different trips planned that aren't really planned, but just, like, one day, if ever there's a thing.
Yeah.
That's what we've been recommended to people, is to take this time and try to, really use it to plan out that stellar trip that you've been wanting to go on and really take the time to do all the research and have it all planned out, because you have time now that you wouldn't have normally had to do stuff like that.
100%. You've got time, and also, and I know a lot of people, it's a twofold effect. A lot, I was about to say things are going to be very cheap to travel after. I know people aren't making a lot of money right now for the most part. So even though things are cheaper, it doesn't necessarily mean it's more affordable. But if you are fortunate enough where you can get away, it definitely, look, it's going to be a great time to travel. People are going to want to see tourists again, my experience in Bali, as amazing as the people were, people get, quite fatigued with people running through their country and tearing shit up. And even people as amazing and as patient as the Indonesian people can, lose a bit of that patience and lose a bit of that warmth because, you've got 4 million people a year, So I think after this COVID thing, it's going to be cheaper, but also people are going to want to see travelers again more than they have in a very long time.
Yeah.
They're going to be open. It's going to be. I kind of feel bad saying this because of the devastation it's caused, but it is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity to see parts of the world in a way that you'll never get to see them again. Hopefully, because fuck having this shit happen again.
I know.
Right.
We've got to learn to control this, man, because this has not gone well. So one thing I will say, look, hang on. I got them pulled up side by side right now. So I will say that Panama kind of went up, and then now they are coming back down. They have definitely made like the turn, and the numbers are coming back down as far as active cases. So they're currently 18,900 or so cases in Panama. And then if you compare it to Indiana, which I know we're comparing a state to a country, but it's roughly the same population. So in Indiana, it literally looks like we're doing like a shuttle launch on the numbers. And it's like kind of bobbing along, and it's just going off like a rocket right now. And we have about 75,000 active cases right now. So It is definitely not turning the corner. So, I was always real interested to see, because there's a lot of debate, especially in the U.S., as to whether, wearing masks and locking down and all these various different things, whether they work or not. And there's a lot of people that tend to believe that it does not work. However, when you do this little, novice comparison right here, and I'm definitely not a doctor or an expert, but it definitely looks like the practices put in place by Panama were effective.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing, yeah, I mean, I've got a few thoughts on that stuff as well. I think everyone does, but I might leave that one to the experts.
I will have to say I went and took a COVID test today, my first one.
Your first one.
It was not enjoyable.
We think Nicole's gonna die.
Horrible.
It's kind of rough.
I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. Have you taken one, Nathan?
Fuck no.
He hasn't had to. He's the only person for
He's been
3 miles.
Down. Man,
We can't. I mean, the only thing that when you did go grocery shopping, or when you through the lockdown, and even now actually, when you leave the house, they do check your temperature everywhere.
Yeah, they do that here too now.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Which I think is stupid, because if you have the temperature, they're already screwed. It's already past the point of no return. When you are the most contagious is the couple of days before you get a temperature. So if they walk in there and you check somebody and they got a temperature, you just got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I find it very ironic that is the way that they've chosen to try to kind of monitor this, because it doesn't seem super effective to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of, and I know, look, conspiracy theorists jump on this because conspiracy theorists don't have a life, and they just want drama. But there's definitely a very valid point to be made of that there's a lot of things that all authorities do. There's a lot of things parents do with their kids, like anyone in that position does, to make the population feel safe. And, it might not be, I'm not saying that masks and checking temperature is totally ineffective. I actually, the only evidence that I see is here in Panama, and it seems to have worked. But even if it's not as effective as they are trying to lead everyone to believe, even if it's just making everyone feel safe, well, that is kind of important as well, it's a good part of I mean, why the president even has a press team, is to communicate with the people and make everyone feel safe, right? So, yeah, and there's some of it's placebo effect, some of it's trying to keep the population, feeling easy. And the other thing as well, it's a lot easier for people our age and everything. And we can say that, like, I don't want my grandparents to get sick and all that. That's one thing. But to actually be an elderly person, someone that might have even had some health issues, some lung issues, and someone that, if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s now, in their time, the president and stuff, they were they really were revered, So to see a president, like, we kind of see the presidents as this kind of fucking buffoon that we could throw food at if we got close enough. Whereas they, for them, the president comes on TV and says some shit, and that means something, So it's a different time, but there's still a lot of people that are very vulnerable that it means something to them to at least think that measures are taking place.
Speaking of throwing things, do you remember when a guy threw a shoe at George Bush?
Classic.
If you guys have not seen that video, I want to encourage everybody to go out and watch that video because GW, man, he has got some moves, man.
Oh, he dodged that motherfucker so quick.
It's probably like a training they have before they're president. How to dodge.
It was good, man. If you have not seen that video, you really should go out and watch that video. It's pretty hilarious.
They 100% get the presidents to duck and move a little bit and, and teach them how to move.
Taekwondo shit.
Well, I was going to kind of say that I think that, with COVID, I kind of used this analogy with Nicole the other day. I feel like it's like a tube of toothpaste, okay? And we have squeezed all of the toothpaste out of the tube. We're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube now. That ship has sailed. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if the lockdowns and stuff like that is going to do anything anymore. I think that would have been at the beginning when you only had a few thousand cases or something like that. And now that we have 10 million, it's everywhere. It's all out. It's out. All the toothpaste is out of the tube.
But like I understand, like that logic makes 100% sense to me, and I get it. But as I said before, the only evidence I have is here, and somehow, so, in complete contrast to Louise and I out here on our own in the city, they have the slums and everything like that, and there's people living, sometimes 15, 20 to a room that. To a tiny room, and that's where obviously it ran rampant through there, but. According to all reports, and definitely by the numbers that you just showed before, they've even managed to get down the control in those places. So
true. That's actually a good point.
It just, it's just I don't know. Some smart people can analyze this. I'm pretty fucking dumb, to be honest, but it's hard to argue with. The thing with a country like Panama, and especially with the smaller population, that is, you can actually see a bit more of what's going on. It's kind of, you see the news here, and it does very quickly cover a lot of like the problems or solutions. And yeah, man, they managed to get under control even in the slums and stuff here, and
So I'm now looking up the populations just so we can have a intelligent discussion about this.
Indiana, I believe, I'm looking at it, 6.76 million.
I just looked that up myself,
And then Panama, I think, is going to say like 4.3, so a lot more than that, I realize.
Yeah. So there is a little more in Indiana, but, I'm telling you, if you haven't gone out and looked at the numbers lately, go out and look at the numbers because they are going up like a rocket. And I kind of find it to be a little scary.
What's going to be interesting here, Panama just had its biggest week of, this is my first year here, and COVID, it's been a weird year. But what I believe is the biggest week of holidays for the year. In the 1 week they have Independence Day and then... I'm going to forget, but like 2 or 3 holidays all in a week. And so everyone takes off. The holidays are like Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday or something. So everyone just takes off the other couple of days and has like 8 days off in a row.
Did they do? They did this last year too. I think we talked about this last year. Were you here? Were you there last
I
year?
wasn't here. No, I came in January.
Oh, okay. You were telling me about something that they were doing, some kind of Mardi Gras type thing or something.
Oh no, that was early in the year when the whole place turned into a street parade.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me about.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was, but that was crazy too.
You said that was kind of like a carnival or something.
Yeah, fully like I can't remember what that was. But yeah, no,
Okay.
this is apparently the biggest week. So, everyone goes to the beach, and obviously there's no what's it called, social distancing.
Yeah,
and
lockdown.
So I expect there'll probably be a spike or two, and I'm sure the government here seems really onto it, and they probably shouldn't be so surprised. It's a pretty great little country, but yeah, man, I'm sure they planned ahead and they knew that these holidays were coming and everything like that. So, yeah, full faith in them to have taken care of it. But I do expect a little spike over the next week or two.
So are you guys completely free now? Is everything back open and are restaurants open or are tourists coming in? I mean, are flights coming in?
No, flights are coming in. So that's been back open for 2 or 3 weeks. So
Okay.
it's totally open borders. You just need to have had a negative COVID test within 48 hours, like before or after you arrive.
Okay.
And if you get here and you don't have a negative test, then you have to pay for your own quarantine at a hotel.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay.
Because 48 hours can be hard to get here because a lot of the tests are taking like 72. So
You wouldn't even be able to do that here.
You'd have to get it when you got there.
Because the minimum amount of time here that you can get one, at least in Indiana, I don't know how it is elsewhere, but in Indiana it's about 72 hours.
And now
So
they're
that's
taking
about-
a little longer.
Yeah, it's about 3 to 6 days right now, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do believe that if you don't have one prior to coming, you can get one at the airport here when you arrive.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if they offer the rapid test there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because that's kind of where I was going earlier, with the lockdown thing and stuff like that. And I think that's, where we need to move more towards is doing like quick tests, rapid tests. So they need to have something. If you've been exposed to somebody, you need to be able to go and get a test, 30 minutes, boom, you know that you're okay, or you need to lock down, and they need to be able to move rapidly on things. And I think that is what the problem is right now, is it takes so long. So someone, so you had somebody, she was exposed to COVID, right? Your coworker?
Yeah. So I worked with someone who was her husband was exposed. And now she is showing big signs of, she has
And
like,
then she went finally today and got hers.
yeah, so she finally
Yeah.
went today.
So I
Yeah.
told Nicole, I was like, you need to just go get one right now. So instead of waiting around, 3 to 5 days to go, figure out if she's got it, and then you take 3 to 5 days, like you need to just go get one now.
Yeah.
So, and I think go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I directly know like 4 or 5 people that have had it, but I'm close with 2 people that have had it. One is just a friend from Toronto, and the other is Louise, my partner's dad, had COVID.
Really?
Yeah, and it's crazy how different their experiences were, and kind of the opposite way around. So my friend from Toronto, she young, fit, about 30, I'm going to guess, super young, super fit, doesn't drink or smoke, has been like on a health kick for years, for like right into yoga, and she's a vegan, which is a fucking dumb thing to do, but don't get me started.
Hey.
And
That's why she can't withstand the COVID.
healthy.
She's got no meat. She needs some meat.
Sorry?
I said that's why she can't withstand the COVID. She needs some meat.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's one, and then the other, Louise's dad, has had some heart problems before, and like he's been looking after himself pretty well the last couple of years, but because the doctors said not too long ago, like you were really close to dying, and he collapsed, and big heart problems. Anyway, yeah, like she had a really, really bad, like couldn't get out of bed for 3 weeks, had a headache for 18 days straight, like nonstop, couldn't breathe, like really, really heavy stuff, like she was really emotional telling me about it. And then on the other hand, Jim, Louise's dad, didn't even know he had it till it was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like, he had a little bit of a cough for a few weeks, and he was like monitoring it, and because he was already working from home, so he knew he wasn't out infecting other people, kind of thing. And it got to about 6 weeks in, and it started to get worse. So he went to the hospital on like a Wednesday or a Thursday. They tested him. They rang him early the next week and said, "Hey, you've got it. You've got COVID. You got to lock down, stay home, quarantine. All your family need to come in for tests." So they all went in straight away and got tests, and even his mum, so Louise's grandparents and stuff, everyone, the whole family went and got it, and no one else, like everyone else, was negative.
Wow.
And so the week after, when they got their results, so Jim was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna, maybe it was one of these false positives, rah." But he was still quite coughy and everything, and he went back down, still had it, but it was like on the way out, he'd already had the worst of it. I don't think he ever got a headache or anything like that. He just slowly got better over the next week, and it never even stopped him from going about his day. Like it was just a bit of a cough that he had for quite a while.
Well, see, that's what I think makes this virus so controversial, is it depends on your experience with it and people that are close to you and the experiences that they have experienced throughout this. Mm-hmm. And if you know somebody that died of it, then you are going to have a much more severe reaction to this than if, my friend.
Everything. This is just people being selfish, because that's everything, man. You could be like, I don't like it when people drive really fast, because I had an accident once. With, like you can apply that. We don't get to run our society. Unfortunately, like there's a reason I live overseas. I get that this sucks, but the way society works is we kind of all have to slow down and realize we're on the same team.
Yeah.
That's why I don't live there. I'm a selfish cunt. I don't want to live near any of you guys. I want to be out here. I want to speed. I want to fucking do all the dumb shit in a place where I can't hurt anyone else. That's why I live in the country, in a foreign country, even away from the local people here. But if you're going to be, so not everyone can move, obviously, but also if you're just going to be, in a more normal society, in a more normal capacity, you got to realize we're all on the same team. Even if you voted for the wrong person, or, even if you're fucking whatever it is, used to bang my missus, it doesn't matter. We're all on the same team. And it's just ridiculous that people don't realize that.
Yeah. So, another thing I want to ask you about. So you guys were all locked down.
Banging my missus?
And, no. And
that was it.
You snuck out.
It's not bad when she's awake.
You snuck out, though, didn't you? Didn't you sneak out one time?
Out of where?
Of your house during lockdown.
Fuck yeah.
And you got picked up by the cops, didn't you?
Oh shit, I did. I totally forgot. Yeah, no,
Story time.
Well, no, it's not even a lot of a story to it, man. It just early on I was going a little crazy, and
you went to the beach, didn't you?
Yeah, a friend of mine hit me up to go for a surf, and he was going a bit crazy too, and we had this plan where, it was selfish to go out, but we went further out into the country, and we went to this beach. No one, not even on the roads, we didn't see a single other soul the whole time. Yeah. Until we were getting back in the car in the countryside in Panama, and just some police came driving up the road, and we're like, surfboards. Don't suppose you guys are out here doing the Lord's work? And we got hauled down in front of. They have like a
paddy wagon.
No, they had one of those, but they let us drive behind them. But we went down. They had this health center set up with a lady in there that's with special powers, and she was like judge and executioner and prosecutor and all that stuff. So we got to plead our case with her for about 5 minutes. She gave us $100 fine each and sent us on our way.
Because you were surfing.
Yeah, because we were out of the house. Yeah.
Did they process you at the station or anything? Like, did they do fingerprints or that kind of stuff?
Nah, nothing like that. It wasn't even the actual police station.
It wasn't.
No, it was like I hadn't ever been there or seen it before or since. Mind you, it was in this random spot, but it looked like it was on the back of a school. And there was no one obviously at the school. Everyone was at home. But yeah, it was just like in this little office kind of thing. And she had a little desk, and we went in, and My friend is from here in Panama, so speaks perfect Spanish, and he tried to talk our way out of it, and she kind of laughed and was like, we still had beach sand on our legs, and she just kind of laughed and was like, look, you guys fucked up, you're out of your house, you're getting a fine. And so $100 each, and that was it. So, not really the right thing to do, but
so were there other people at this place where they took you though?
No, it was only this lady and then the police.
So there was nobody else that they had picked up or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
it seemed like it didn't seem like there was a lot of action.
Okay, all right. Because I was thinking it would be ironic.
But we would see people around. Because there were people, like even this staff from the grocery stores and stuff like that. So you'd see people, and being in the country and people live a different way of life here and different different financial levels, and so some people don't have cars and are catching the bus to get their groceries. Some of the grocery store workers are catching the bus. There's not everyone's just jumping in a car and safely going down, and weird times.
Well,
man.
so the way I imagined it though in my head, this is how I had this story in my head. They came out to the middle of nowhere, picked you up in the middle of nowhere, and then brought you down to like a processing center, and then put you in like a small confined space with a bunch of people because you were violating a COVID initiative.
Well, what
That
they
would be
did
America.
as soon as they gave us the fine, what they did as soon as they gave us the fine was they lined us up where you had to go to pay the fine was actually quite a small hallway, and it was packed and there were a lot of people, but everyone had masks on. So because we'd been out and kind of like, I guess spat in the face of the law kind of thing, and, kind of indicated that we didn't care about COVID, what the police were doing was they were coming around and they were pulling everyone's masks down and spitting on our face.
No, they weren't.
No, just the people that had surfboards with them.
And then
That
I
was
found
it.
$50. No, there was nothing. I mean, as I said, we didn't really even see anyone else, but there was no. What's it called? Like there wasn't really even any animosity. Like the whole thing was very. I think everyone gets it, right?
Yeah.
Like the police all seem to get it. It's like. They were kind of like, guys, you got to do the right thing, but, we understand that you're at home and you're going crazy, and they get it. They have families too. And the other thing was, this is actually, my partner pointed this out to me when I got home because I was saying I didn't really feel bad. I was still like a little bit mad about it. And I was like, I don't feel bad. I just went for a surf and kind of been a dick. And Louise rightfully pointed out, well, what about the police? Like they have families too. They don't want to catch it. They didn't want to have to,
Pick
be
you
in
up.
close proximity. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, it's just a weird experience.
Well, so I imagine it being a little more like they were going to fingerprint you. I imagine a little more like they impounded your car and stuff like that. So it sounds like they were at least halfway cool about the whole situation,
I mean, they put us through more grief than when I stole the taxi in the Philippines. They even put us through slightly more grief than when I stole the police car in the Philippines. But they didn't put me through as much grief as when I tried to kidnap the princess in Singapore. So there's a bit of a scale for you on a scale of,
That's good.
Stolen taxi to kidnapped princess.
So do we need to have him tell all these stories now, or should we just
He's-
let this
No.
go?
Didn't I tell those stories on the last
He's-
podcast?
he
Why don't
did.
you redirect
Well,
people there?
I don't know
You
if
did. He told the princess story.
the princess
I remember that
story.
one.
I don't know about the taxi car and the.
I remember the police car too. I
and
don't
the
remember
police
the
car.
taxi,
Did you do
but
the police car?
we'll just say Nathan has a lengthy
Go
criminal
back,
history.
yeah. Nathan Johnson has a couple other shows on here, so go back, check out his other shows if you want to hear some of his other misbehavior.
Once you get done listening to Tommy P, hop on
Jesus
over
Christ.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the little bit of traveling that you have done.
So here in Panama, there's a place about 3.5 hours away, and it's a really cool little beach town called Vanau. It's really cool. It's very small. It's really just one big bay. There's a little bit more to it. There's some mountains up behind, like where all the little town is on the bay, and there's some houses and stuff, some people that live up there on farms and some villas and But yeah, most of it is all centered around this one beach, and there's a few other beaches close by, but everyone kind of congregates at the main beach of Vanau. There's surf there. It's beautiful. Um, yeah, we've been up there twice. I'd never been before. I'd actually never even heard of it when we first got here. And my friend Roberto, who was the guy that dragged me off to surf when we got caught by the police, he was telling us all about it. And yeah, so went up there and checked it out, and it was beautiful, man. Got some surf and just got to, fuck, I almost said the words immerse myself in nature, and want to punch myself in the dick for thinking about it.
You don't like nature?
No, I love nature, but just it sounds like there should be wind chimes playing. I immersed myself in nature.
It's nice.
Like, that's a wanky thing to say.
It sounds so pleasant.
It's like when you ask someone where they live and they've been traveling for a month and they're like, I don't live anywhere.
The world.
Go fuck yourself.
The world is my home.
Anyway, yeah. So for now, beautiful place. Venao. Look it up. It's pretty cool.
So tell us a little bit about the town. So is it very small, like tiny? Like, is there a bar, grocery store, gas station?
There's
nothing.
It's actually really what is it, like 5 small hotels on the beach. So the one beach is, it's probably 1.5 miles long, and there's surf. Like, it's why everyone, why the spot became popular. There's surf all up and down the beach, and there's five or six hotels along the beach, small hotels, but they kind of range from, like low kind of backpacker hostel all the way up to some pretty nice spots. So there's a lot of options there. And then there's a row of small businesses behind the hotels. There's like a tiny little bakery cafe, which is phenomenal. And then a couple of, like, there's a little 7-Eleven there. And some of the hotels have some bars and everything, but it's pretty isolated to that little stretch. And then if you go back onto the main road, which is just behind those small businesses, it kind of runs parallel to the beach, and up the western end, there's a few small hostels that are kind of in the hills and kind of into the countryside there. But yeah, man, it's really, really small. The closest town, I'm going to get this wrong, I believe is called Pedasi, which I've only driven through, but it looks to be probably around the 10,000 person range as you drive through. And that's about half an hour away. But yeah, Vanau itself is tiny, very, very small.
So it's not super touristy then.
But, you're probably on the beach with, I don't know, there's probably 200 people staying up and down the beach, maybe 300, somewhere, I'm totally guessing, but 200 to 300 people staying in various hotels up and down the beach. And then, probably 20 staff per hotel. And so, I guess all up, there's around 500 people in the area, and, most of them are tourists.
So, because like when I think of like a beach area, I always think of like Florida or something like that, where they got, little flip-flop shops and touristy crap all over the place. And I imagine this place not being like that.
Yeah, no, it's the opposite. There's almost no, it's all pretty much the hotels. There's, in that little line of small businesses, we're probably talking like 4 or 5 small businesses. One's a 7-Eleven, one's a that cafe I mentioned, another couple of cafes. I don't remember seeing any sort of like where you might buy flip-flops or some like a towel or some sunscreen. In that row, the only place, actually, there's only one of those out there, and it's part of one of the hotels. They have a little store there.
Gotcha.
Where you can get some of those supplies. But yeah, man, there's really not a lot.
That sounds cool.
It is. It's really cool. It's a great place to go and slow down.
Yeah.
And like we get up very early anyway, but out there I was getting up even earlier, and at like 4 o'clock you can go sit out on the beach, and it's a very peaceful kind of vibe. And then even because everyone that's there, being so small, everyone that's there is kind of vibrating on the same frequency. You know, no one's really, there's a shared vibe. There's like this really communal kind of like, you know, feeling there where you can walk up and down the beach and everyone will kind of nod to each other, but no one's, you know, it's not like there's all of a sudden there's one group of people like playing noise super loud and partying and being super aggressive.
That's kind of what I meant when I said non-touristy. That's kind of what I was kind of going for on that. It's kind of a little more laid back, not nightclubs, you know, crap like that.
Right. Oh, yeah, there's definitely none of that.
I love that. That's cool.
Nice. Sounds like a hidden gem.
So how much, like, what's your hotel there and stuff? Is the place pretty inexpensive or?
Nah, that's kind of the one problem with it. So I was staying in, I'm not going to name it because I'm about to fucking rip it apart. I was staying.
I thought you liked the place that you went. I thought you told me it was nice.
Are you talking the second time when Louise came and we got the, yeah.
That time when you called me and you guys were there with the little puppy dog.
Yeah, no. So that was the second time we went, because I had Louise with me. We went and hired a place up in the, like, we got our own villa kind of thing up in the hills.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that was different. The first time I went, I stayed in one of the cheapest places there, and through like a friend of a friend is the guy that runs the place, and so I get there and he's like, I had his number and had been texting him, and he's like, yeah, man, if you come in, I'll make sure we hook you up with a deal and everything like that. And I get there and he's like, all right, yeah, like, you know, got you a deal. I got you this room. It's right out the front, blah, blah. And it's, you know, it was the standard room, you know, they didn't have better or worse. This place has like, I guess, 15 rooms roughly all up. And he's like, they're all of our rooms are the same. And it was $70 a night for a room that had 3 single beds in it. And like if other people showed up and they needed to, they could put them in there. So it was like $70 for a bed in this room.
So it's like a hostel?
No, it was more just a shared room. Like it was actually a bedroom, but like I've stayed in a million hostels and none of them were like this, but it was literally like a bedroom with, like, you imagine a kid's bedroom where you've got a couple of different beds in there. It was like that, you know. It was a very
So like an Airbnb?
Yeah, it's just like a bedroom with, you know, a few adults, like
strangers
getting some strange,
hanging out with a few strangers.
Now, did anybody else come?
No, I had it to myself the whole time, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, but it wasn't like there was no. Pardon me. There was no what are they called? Like there was no rug. Like it was just a sheet on the bed. You know, there was no like rugs or anything on it. It was very
rugs.
Look,
rugs on the bed.
My thing, right?
Do they put rugs on the bed in Panama?
Well, like just some sheet or something, or I sleep naked, so it'd be awkward if there's 3 other cunts in there and I'm fucking getting some morning wood. They just come in from their first surf of the day and I don't even have a blanket on. But I've stayed in places like that in a lot of different countries in the world, and even Singapore. What's it called? The Captain James, something like that. I can't remember. Prince James, some bullshit. But I thought that was the most expensive shared room I'd stayed in. And even that was only like 22 Singaporean dollars a night, which is, I don't know, probably, $15, $16. I'm not sure. I'm kind of guessing. But yeah, so it was just for $70 a night.
And that's US dollars?
Yeah, that's US. Yeah. You know, it just...
That seems a little salty, a little high.
It's very high, but the thing is they kind of have a monopoly on this beach, right? And like, it was weird because like I ended up talking to my friend of a friend kind of thing, and he was super nice. It was great. And he kind of knew that he got it. Like I didn't have to say it to him. He was like, I know the price is, you know, a little bit high, blah, blah. And he was explaining, he's like, it's just that, it's on this beach. And so the owner knows that we're going to get full pretty much every night. And so, like we can charge a lot more. And I was like, man, it didn't get full though. There were like 3 other beds that like, your argument had some holes in it.
Yeah.
But, he assured me, and actually the second time we went, everything was definitely, and we just booked for this time. So, I mean, I'm sure he's right, and nothing makes me feel like he lied to me. Maybe it was just a once-off that they didn't get full. But
so it's right on the beach, though.
Right on the beach. Oh yeah, I was like
Makes
out
sense.
my door and probably like 30 meters onto the sand.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so tell us about the second place then.
Yeah, the second place was up in the hills. And it was it was a lot better. I had the lady with me, so we shelled out a bit of money. I think we paid like $270 a night.
Oh, I thought you said
That's
it was
not,
cheaper.
no, that's not right. Yeah, that's not right.
'Cause I thought you told me it was like a little over 100 a night, I thought.
Fuck, if I told you that, then let's go with that. My memory's terrible. Maybe it was $270 for the 2 nights or the 3.
Maybe that
I don't
was
know.
for the whole time
Folks,
or
look,
something. Because I thought you told me it
ladies
was like
and gentlemen,
130 or something like that. I thought that's what you said.
130 for the 3 nights, or the
No, I
the-
think
oh, for
I
you
think
mean-
a night. A night, yeah. And I thought that's what you said it was, because I thought that place seemed pretty nice for the money. I thought it was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I feel like it was something was 270. So I was going to say maybe it was 270 for the 3 nights.
Well, maybe. Oh, it was 3 nights that you were there, or maybe it was well, it's glad to be less than $100 a night.
Be $90. a
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
Maybe it was that actually. What did I start with? 270 for a night. I think it was 270 for the 3 nights.
Okay. So that's a better deal then.
That's real
Although
good.
you have to drive down to the town, then you got to drive down to the beach, or
Yeah, it was like a 15-minute drive. It was,
Yeah.
it was a fair way back. But it had an insane view. It was definitely a really good deal. It had an insane view off the front. You could see, it kind of was on the edge of a hill, so the view kind of fell away, and we could see out over these farms and all the way down to the water. So
yeah.
that was really nice.
Because I remember your video chat me and showing me like the view from there, and I thought the view was pretty nice.
Yeah, the view was beautiful. The place itself, I mean, it was a very basic setup, and there's nothing at all wrong with that at all. Especially not for that price. If it was $90 a night, it was great. If it was $270, then it was fucked. But I feel like it was $270 for the 3 nights.
Do all these places have air conditioning?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it was cool. That second trip, I actually got, I got sick. I had like a migraine and
The Corona.
something else. Yeah, I got some corona all around my dick.
Oh,
And
well, we did
and,
pretty good up to that point.
He had to pop up to 75% of Nathan.
Yeah,
I get disgusting when you put me on the spot like this, and I'm just talking mad shit. I'm like $270 a night when it was 273 nights. Now I got to talk about my dick. My memory's obviously shot, but yeah, the second place. Look, the second place. If you were going there and you were a surfer, you would probably stay in the first one, because
Yeah.
you were right on the beach.
That's
You
what I was
get up
thinking.
super early in the morning, and I think that's what I really missed the second one. But I wanted to, I wanted to treat Louise a bit, and we took our dog Charlie, and I didn't want him to. It was his first trip out of home. He's only 5 months old, the little fella,
Oh,
and so I didn't want him to, on his first trip out of home, feel too unstable and unsafe around, all these other people.
yeah.
So yeah, look, the second place was great. This next one is like we're really excited about it. It's a bit of a mix between the two. It's a little bit higher priced again, but it's closer to the beach. Still not on the beach like the first place, but it's a whole villa to ourselves kind of thing, and it's only about 60 meters back from where the first place was. So
And so you're getting ready to go again to the same place?
yeah, on
Yeah.
Wednesday. So right
Oh.
now it's Monday
Wow.
night, and so yeah, not tomorrow. The next morning we'll get out of here and leave.
That's coming up real soon then.
Can't wait, man. I need a break. It's really hard being me.
Yeah. 3 vacations during Corona for you.
Right. Nicole and I haven't been anywhere.
Nowhere.
Guys, I keep saying you should come visit me here, but you won't fucking do it.
We don't know if they'll let us into the country. We figured
I'll
as
let you
U.S.
into the
citizens
country.
we're like lepers or something.
I'll let you into the country. Didn't Biden just win? Everyone's happy with you guys at the moment. Now's probably the best time to travel. Everyone will be like, you voted for Biden, yay! And whether you did or not, you can just ride that gravy train.
So yeah, we're gonna take you up on that real soon. Actually, we're just trying to get everything to open back up and be safe again. What's the weather like there in
Come to Vanau.
the winter?
Come to Vanau.
Yeah, but we have to fly into Panama City, right? And then we'd have to drive to Vanau, right?
I would obviously pick you up from the city. I will buy both your Oh, you got kids. Fuck. Kid friends, folks at home don't have kids. Why don't you guys flip a coin and I'll buy your flight down here tomorrow and you come to Vanau with us. We'll even leave Louise at home.
One or the other.
So
Have some Hunger Game style fucking face off here on your podcast and the winner gets to come down on holiday.
Sophie's choice. Uh-oh,
May
what
the
happened?
odds be ever in your favor.
I think Nicole broke her headphones.
Oh, Nicole, what'd you do?
I can only hear out of one ear. So
Is that because
The
of your ear
headphones
or
or-
because of your headphones?
I think it's my headphones. I did have that COVID test today though. So
It might be my ear. Did they stick it in your ear? Because you're not supposed to stick it in your ear.
No, they stuck in my nose, but I'm just thinking some weird things could be happening.
Oh my lord.
Love that they stuck it in your nose and your ear's broken. Good one.
They stuck it in my butt.
That's what I was thinking. They stick it in her nose. Now her ear doesn't work. Oh man. All right. Anything else coming up on the agenda as far as travel?
Man, I've been looking into adventures. I like you guys were saying earlier, and I think because it's close, I'm kind of hedging my bets a little bit, and I'm thinking that I might just cross the border here and go somewhere close, maybe Costa Rica, Nicaragua. Actually, you know what? I really, really am excited by the prospect of El Salvador at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, there's some really good surf there, and I feel like I could go and have a cool little holiday. And it's pretty quick and easy to get home. If they do start to shut things down here or whatever, I can be on a flight pretty quickly and get home. And
Nice.
so yeah, nothing locked in, but I'm looking for an adventure. If any of you listeners want to hit me up and you got some fun to be had, folks, get the fuck at me. I will come to your town and we will have some fun. I don't care where you
We
are.
will get the police called.
You want to come to Indiana?
I don't care where you are outside of Indiana.
What about Iowa?
Actually, outside of the U.S. at the moment, I don't know if the U.S. would let me in. Look, if you're in a place where they will let an Australian come and holiday at the moment, then I'm 100% serious. Hit me up. I'm looking for a holiday. I'm looking for an adventure. You got a hike to go on. You got some fucking cave we can go climb in.
Yeah.
You got some tequila we can drink. I don't know. Hit me with a good time. I love it.
By the way, side note, what kind of tequila do you like?
Oh, the wet kind?
So all.
I'm a fan of Patron. That's why I ask.
You're a fan of Patron. Patron's the one I don't like. Patron's for rap videos and fucking...
No, it's
Fucking
good.
You like reposado?
I like tequila in general, and I think
Patron's-
Patron is good, man.
Patron is good for sure. My favorite, I've got a real soft spot for Don Julio de Blanco. Each
Yeah.
tequila has their different,
Yeah.
what's it called? Not ages, but the
Yeah.
different, the Blanco.
It is the
Reposado.
age, yeah. It's aged in the barrel. So the Blanco,
Yeah, and the Blanco's the
Reposado.
most pure.
Yeah, Blanco, Reposado, and
Yeah.
Añejo.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's what I like too, is the Blanco.
Well, it depends. So different ones. So like 1800 tequila, I like the Reposado. But yeah, my favorite tequila is the Don Julio Blanco. But a lot of that's because of the memories. There's some fantastic tequilas out there. Man, I could. Oh, I'm just trying to. I've just gone blank.
See, I like
My
Patron
favorite-
because it's got the citrus notes to it. I like the citrus notes. So they've all got like little different like flavor profiles. It's like wine or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, different tequila companies seem to excel at different ages. You know, like the Don Julio is a good example. So, I mean, we all have different taste buds, but for me, their Blanco is the shit. Their Reposado, it's still good, but it's not as, you know, like I wouldn't go and buy a bottle of it. I'd buy a bottle of the 1800 Reposado. But for any tequila connoisseurs out there, anyone that wants to try a seriously good tequila, because Blanco, as I said, the Don Julio's just got a lot of memories for me and some traditions with some friends. But my favorite is Fortaleza. It's called. Have you ever tried that?
No, I've never even heard of that.
It's the best tequila in the world. It's like the best thing that you can imagine except for Australian. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. I don't even know what to say about it. All of them, the Blanco, the Reposado, the Añejo.
Fortaleza is a place in Brazil, so it's complicating my research.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I've never seen this bottle.
How do you spell it?
It's skinny.
It's a cool bottle, huh?
Oh, there it is. Fortaleza tequila. Okay.
It is kind of cool. I like the cork. It's cool. I've never even seen this at the store.
Get you some Fortaleza today.
I don't know about like the only places I've looked for it. Outside of Central America, I've never been able to find it. Actually, the only place outside of Central America that I know for sure that it is, some friends of mine back in Perth, Western Australia, have a tequila bar, and they're the ones. One of them is this guy Jimmy, good friend of mine. He's the one that put me onto it. But yeah, other than that tequila bar, and look, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's all around the world. It has to be. It's so amazing, but I've never been able to find it anywhere.
It is online, but don't get it online. I got scammed by that with the tequila. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
depends on where you go, but
she ordered some one time, and they were supposed to give her 2 bottles, and she only got 1 bottle or something. So
Yeah.
it wasn't 100% scam. It was only a 50%
it
scam.
did come, though.
It's kind of like 50% Nath. You know, it's only a 50%.
But they do have it online, wineglobal.com.
So, yeah, I'm reading about it here, and it says it has hints of vanilla and butter. I've never heard tequila be described with butter. I've heard the vanilla, never heard butter. So that's interesting.
Look, I've never read about what it tastes like, but I can assure you it is the bee's fucking dick, my friend.
Or the bee's
the
knees.
bee's knees. Yeah,
You know,
one
whichever.
of those.
One or the other.
No one's ever put a knee in their mouth, have they?
I don't think they have, no.
Probably a bee's
welcome.
knees, though. People eat bees
People eat bees?
on accident.
On accident. What,
Yeah,
have you eaten a bee? Is this
I've
something
never
you
have,
participated
But
in?
people, heard of people who drank
I
a
love where
soda
this
with the
conversation's
bee.
going.
It always
It's really getting off the rails, isn't it?
do bees have knees?
I can feel people tuning out right now.
Do they have bees?
Yeah. All right. Anything
So
else?
yeah, Fortaleza tequila. That's the one that you want. Change your life.
I'm going to look that up for sure and get me some. I wonder if they have
What's
any.
my Instagram so people can message me and tell me where I should come party?
Please, by all means, share with us.
It's Nathan's very own. Just like my podcast, Nathan's very own podcast.com.
So
Yeah.
when's the last time you put out an episode
See
on your
that,
podcast?
I release new episodes every Wednesday and Friday and have done for the last 2 years. That's a fucking lie. I haven't put out an episode in about 3 months.
I was just going to ask you that. I was like, isn't it like kind of on hiatus?
Has been. So I've done seasons. I've always done seasons, and I'm actually about to kick things off again real soon. But there's a bunch of episodes on there with some really cool interviews and some cool stories and all sorts of crazy stuff about my travels all around the world and just, you know, fun stuff. I'm here to bring the good vibes, man. High vibes, brother. High vibes.
Nathan's very own podcast. You
I
guys go
actually
check
thought
that out.
about renaming it to like, and I haven't even looked, but I'm sure there's a million podcasts centered around high vibes and that sort of stuff. But I was going to call it the High Vibes, brother.
Well, look it up. Can you do that?
I don't know. How about we let the good people go and you and I can look it up?
Good idea.
All right. That's all we've got for right now. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for
Bye.
being here, folks.
All right, it's now time for your favorite guest and mine, Nathan Johnson. What up, Nate?
You punching.
What?
Off to a great start.
Start it again. You don't want to open with that.
Okay.
Off to a great